Thank you. Right. Just check the mic's not turned itself off. Sorry. That's okay. It's good. It's all good. Let's keep going. So, relationship at the heart of everything, and the relationship's all the way through your process. So, we don't start it and then forget about it halfway through or around it. Every interaction, you should be thinking about that, continuing to form the foundations of the relationship, because that's what makes the sales process work. It's like the enabler. We start with what we call insight and impact, which we'll talk about. We then go to a needs discovery. So this is kind of sharing something of value with your customer. It's like a deposit in the emotional bank account, right at the start. Deposit in the emotional bank account. Then we go to needs discovery. What is it that's driving your customers' decisions? What are their preferences, motivations, we talked about earlier. You can only find that out by asking questions and listening, and then responding to those answers, and asking more questions and listening, and it's like a loop. Once you get to the point where you go, right, I understand everything about this customer and what's motivating them, we go to a discussion about a potential solution. So this is something, based on what you've told me you're looking for, this is how we can help. And that's a discussion. So very often you'll find that maybe that feels like you're pitching. And it shouldn't be a pitch, it should be a discussion. If it's a discussion, it feels like the customer is with you throughout the whole of that presentation. Yeah. Okay, and that's what we need to get to. Once you've got to the end of that presentation and it feels like the customer has joined you all the way through the presentation, you then say, okay, here's my proposal. So here's what I propose happens next. This is the fee, this is the marketing we'll do, list you on Rightmove, we'll do all these things that we said are part of the solution. This is my proposal, we do this next. And the idea obviously is to get agreement at the end of that proposal. Okay? Once you get agreement, that isn't the end. The next thing then is just to make a note of the immediate actions. These are the things that I'll commit to. These are the things that I will need you to commit to. That is the end of the interaction with the customer. Then you thank yous. We'll talk about what you do at that point. Then we go to reflection. This is the piece around your personal growth. Okay, so I'll come out of that interaction with the customer, good or bad, and ask myself what went well, what did I learn, what will I change? So they're your three kind of key principles. And on the back of here, on the other side of this card, you've got kind of key reminders for each stage of the process, so it makes you kind of tap into what it is you're looking to achieve for each. And so we'll run through that at the end, but you've got, that becomes your kind of headline guide for the process. Okay? Happy?
Yeah.
Good, right, we'll start with this one then, client and your relationship. Your relationship with the client is absolutely everything. So in the webinar we talked about rapport. What is rapport? As a reminder, rapport is the ability to relate to others in a way that creates a level of trust and understanding, and it generates a relaxed, positive relationship. Okay? So it's the foundation for a relationship. What most people aren't fully aware of is that it happens unconsciously. So you don't think to yourself, I like this person. You feel it.
Yeah.
It's intuitive. And because it's intuitive, that's why it's so difficult. Because if you meet someone that's frosty or cold, you then kind of feel like you're constantly on the back foot. But actually what you need to do is almost relax into it. The more relaxed you are in a relationship, the more rapport you develop. So it's about enabling the sales interaction. In sales interactions, rapport enables acceptance and agreement unconsciously. Unconsciously, that means they don't go, I wonder if I'm going to choose you. They just feel like, I just know this is the one.
Yeah.
That's what you get. I know this is the one. Why do you know? If you ask someone why you chose, they'll be like, well, I don't know, it just felt right.
Yeah.
That's rapport. Right, that's rapport. You have to do all the other bits of the process right, but this is the start. Now, if there's one phrase that kind of encapsulates rapport, it's that. We like people like ourselves. We like people like us. What does that tell you? It tells you that you have to find common ground. You have to help your customer to see that they are like you. Yeah? So how do you create it? You create it using the in particular, body language to demonstrate your trust and understanding. What does that mean? It means you match and mirror their body language, and you are always open. So you don't sit like that in the first meeting. You know, and I know that's like the classic obvious, don't fold your arm, but actually there is a lot to be said for that, because that is closed body language. You want to show open body language. You all do it naturally, I can see it. So you get this already. But if ever you find yourself in difficult relationships, or with someone that feels strained, the more you relax and maintain open body language, the more you will be able to develop rapport without them even realising it. Okay, so relaxed, open body language, even if you feel a bit stressed or that it's difficult. Okay. Smile and show warmth, even if they don't. Okay, smile, and if you think to yourself, I'm showing warmth, I'm oozing warmth. I want them to feel the warmth. You don't have to say it. What goes on in here comes out here. If you say to yourself, I'm going to show this person warmth, respect, gratitude, appreciation, whatever. As you say that to yourself, it will ooze out of you because it's unconscious. You've got to be interested in the client, not just for the sake of the sale. Be interested in them. Okay. Interested in their property, interested in what's going on, interested in the decision they're making, interested in what's brought you here, interested in how you found us, interested in what's your past experience when selling houses. What about before that? So be interested, right? Listen actively. We talked about listening. Question, reflect, and acknowledge. There's a difference between listening and active listening. Really showing you're listening. Good example. But it is, nodding, leaning in, tilting your head. It's the small things. When you are engaged with somebody, it shows. When you're not, it also shows. So you've got to show you're engaged. Sometimes they might feel like you're over-engaged, but you can't be over-engaged.
Yeah.
Can really, just makes people feel that connection with you. That's how you build rapport. Enjoy the time with your client. And if you tell yourself that, right, I'm enjoying this, I'm learning about them, I'm connecting with them, kind of feed your mind with the things you want from that relationship, and it will happen. Because so much of what we do is not conscious. Once you start implanting that in your mind, it just flows out of you. And you'll feel it strengthens your relationship with everybody in your life, but in particular with clients. Okay? And then create common ground that you and they can agree on. So if they're saying things, find a way to make it common with you. So okay, maybe I've done that, but I've got friends that are like that, or I know someone in this area, or all that stuff just unconsciously. It's like connect, joins up dots between you and them. The more you can do that, the more you will establish this relationship for the sale. Okay? And then build trust throughout that relationship. So you're doing all of this, which connects you with them, and then you build trust by, you show empathy for them and their experiences. So if there's stuff that's happened, if they tell you, actually I had a great experience last time, that must have been really good for you, brilliant, if they've had problems in the past, that must have been difficult, what did you do? Okay, and then you might talk about something that was similar, but that all you're doing is creating common ground, trust.
Can I ask a question? Just
yeah, of course, yeah.
Just how would somebody quite young, like if we could use Joe as the example, when you're trying to rapport build with someone who's quite young, because obviously their life experiences are limited.
Yes. Go on, so Joe.
We just use Joe as an example because obviously you're quite young, so it's just with that. I mean, like when I've been out and I value, for an example, probably been through everything they've been through, so you've always got quite a lot of common ground with people, but being a lot younger, you don't have as much that you've done yet because you've only just started on your journey. So it's just a question around that, really.
Yeah. So I think there's a number of ways you can handle it.
Yeah.
A number of ways you can handle it. the first and probably the most important is in those situations not to rush it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it can be when you feel like you perhaps don't have a lot emotionally in common with someone or personally in common with someone. If they're like if they're in their 40s, 50s, and they're talking about things that actually you do find difficult to relate to, right? Don't brush it off. Don't move on quickly. Even if you just simply say, "Oh, that's interesting. Tell me a bit more," because I've not experienced that. So your desire to learn what it's like, to truly understand what they want, will build rapport. Because then there'll be a relationship with you where they're almost bringing you into their world.
Yeah.
Which is their way of, they're there then having to strengthen the rapport. And just your curiosity and interest will strengthen the rapport. So I would say in that situation, don't feel like you brush it off and move on, because that will break rapport. Deepen it. Even if you can't say, "I know what's going on," just tell me more so I can understand it. You don't have to say so. But tell me more, I'm interested in that.
Yeah,
Just be interested.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Just be interested.
Yeah.
And especially for someone at your age, if they see that, they will really connect with them. God, this guy's interested.
Yeah.
It'll mean even more to them. And if they've got children your age, or they have relatives, then you can certainly come at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
What do your children think of that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if they
Yeah.
haven't, then just, tell me a bit more about that. That's really interesting.
I think I've not experienced that. It's brilliant. Yeah, tell me more about it. Because obviously you're quite young, they're quite youthful, and Shanice is obviously on the front line. So I noticed myself when I was valuing, like I said, I could connect in probably a lot of ways. I'm Coventry born and bred and got a lot of connections, and I know a lot of people. But obviously Shanice being quite young, you don't always have that. So that's brilliant. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Just gives you a little bit of a hand to, if you are trying to build rapport with someone who's older and you're kind of just setting out on your journey, and that's perfect.
Yeah, and I would
Great
say
for
this.
landlords and things like that.
Because you can't be someone you're not, right?
Exactly.
You can't pretend to have the experience. That's disingenuous. What you can do is be really curious, be really interested, and lean in. Everything we talk about, lean in, tilt your head, and acknowledge them. Acknowledge their experiences for what they are. One of the things I love is the fact that every single one of us has a life we've lived that none of us know anything about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? From dating football stars to also to be, having Russian heritage to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've all got that, and it is fascinating.
Yeah.
So when you go into those relationships with clients, don't think, park the transaction for the start, park the sale, right? Then first, relationship first, rapport, relationship first. How do you do that? Be as interested as you can. And that's not to create any falseness. It's about being present, being genuinely interested, and thinking, actually, if you go into those relationships, and I do this very often when I'm clients, this person has a life I know nothing about.
Yeah.
If they're my age, they've lived to the mid-40s, they've been on this planet for 40 plus years, and I know nothing about it. There must be so much they could tell me.
Yeah.
Just be careful you don't get everyone's life story.
Yeah.
But you can tie into the most interesting thing. And if you're interested, people love talking about themselves. Generally speaking, love talking about themselves. And the more you connect with that, engage with it, be curious, take a journey with them into, what is, for most people, their houses are one of the most important things in their lives, aren't they? It's the place you live, it's the place if they are older, it's the place where they've raised their children, it's the place where they'll have had many fond memories, many difficult times, but really, you think about what you've experienced in your own homes, you want to unlock some of that, let them tell you. Connect with it, and then once they tell you some of this stuff, if you get from them, the strangest thing that's happened in the house, the most happy memory you've got, the most difficult period you've had, right? You could get those. Why the hell would they go with anyone else? Forget fees.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not overcoming fees then, are you?
No.
Yeah.
And then from that as well, if you connect someone on a personal level, you can pick out what's relevant to you, and you know exactly what approach to use and how to do it and what they feel comfortable with going forward.
Exactly.
Exactly, Jack,
And And that connection, the other thing about that connection, once you learn something, it might be, I don't know, it might be the football team they support, it might be that they're expecting grandchildren, it might be, I don't know, it could be anything, right?
Yeah.
But that once you have that common connection, that's something you just keep checking in on throughout the entire duration of that relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, last time you told me this was happening, how did you get on?
I think we do that, don't we? Pop
Yeah.
a lot of stuff
Yeah,
in the notes.
right.
Like someone's just been in France on a fishing trip. How was your fishing trip? You know, you start and open them up with their holiday then. And
Yeah. And they do,
They
like
do.
you said, you do, because it is quite a personal thing
Yeah.
to them, selling a home or renting a home, whatever it is. I
we
mean,
remember those
let's
points.
say-
That's good.
Yeah, exactly. People, like you said, I'm going on holiday. Oh, where are you going? And it
Yeah.
becomes, because they can't do viewings, they tell you about the holiday then.
Yeah.
So, at some point you do start to get that. Even you do get some cold people that
Yeah.
aren't very forthcoming, and obviously they are more difficult to deal with. And it's just like you said, finding a way and thinking, like we said about thinking about what you want to get out today, and thinking about those situations where you've had difficulty and you think, how can I deal with that? Just pop it into, over to you. So that's what I'm thinking for you. I'm thinking,
Yes, please do, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking that if we've had a customer where they are quite cold and they're not very interactive and you're not really getting anything back, and you want help with that, maybe ask that question.
Yeah. If there's specific things today, as we go through today, if you go, oh, I found this difficult, bring it up, we'll talk about how you can handle it.
Yeah.
Because everybody is accessible.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how cold they appear, right? Everybody can have rapport.
Yeah.
Everybody has someone that is their best friend. Everyone has someone that they love. Everyone has someone that they're connected, they're deeply emotionally connected with. Right?
Yeah.
Every single person on the planet, we can't survive without it.
Yeah.
It's part of how we're wired.
Yeah, absolutely.
We certainly have a few lemons on
Yeah.
And remember what that is. Most of the time, that would be just transactionally. Some people want to keep a distance simply because they want the relationship to be transactional and they want to be able to almost point and shoot at you at the times when they need to.
Yeah.
Right? And if they've got a really good relationship with you, that might be more difficult. So
Yeah.
they might want to keep rapport at a distance. Doesn't mean you're going to let them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Doesn't mean you're going to let them.
Yeah.
And the way to just break through it is just that continuous curiosity. Tell me more about that. Tell me a bit more about that. Right, what did you do in this area? Tell me about your history. Tell me when you first started. What was your first property? I mean, there's so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many questions.
There's so many questions. There's so many. You have to be careful you don't overload yourself. But you can ask any of them. I'm fascinated by your story. You've got X number of properties. What was the first one?
Yeah.
I find that with the investors, they want to tell you their life history
Yeah.
on their portfolios,
Yeah.
and then they get very excited about it because you're
Yeah.
pulling more and more out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good. That's all foundation for rapport. Unconscious and reciprocal. So if you find yourself engaged, interested and liking someone, you know you're halfway there, because if you feel that, they feel it. It's unconscious.
Yeah.
If it remains frosty, you know you haven't quite cracked it. You just got to be curious. Curiosity. Warmth. Even if they're just say, I'm just displaying warmth. I'm oozing warmth. They cannot stay cold with you. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Not possible.
I think probably Carol's a prime example of that.
Yeah.
She's quite, if there's ever not anyone, or a landlord for example, that's necessarily not cold, like you said, she kind of breaks them down.
Yeah.
She warms them up.
So friendly.
She was originally a landlady as well, so
she's got that quality.
she's very
Yeah.
much a people's person, isn't she?
Yeah, that's our property manager, yeah. And
good.
like you said, she just kills them with
She
kindness.
just breaks them down,
Yeah.
It's an old saying, but it's a similar sort of thing, isn't
It's
it?
exactly what it is.
Just
Yeah.
be over helpful, right? Yeah, sure, and just and just keep kind of
Yeah.
going down that avenue.
Yeah. I'd say the
It's
biggest
really
thing
helpful.
that gets in people's way of either building rapport or maintaining really good relationships with difficult people is two things. One is our desire to be right,
Yeah,
right? So someone says something and we know it's wrong. Well, actually, it's not like that, it's like this. Guess what you just did?
Shot yourself in the
You
foot.
broke rapport.
yeah,
Because hold on a minute, I said something, you're now telling me it's not like that, and I like people who are like me, and you're now showing you're not like me, right? Boom, gone.
yeah,
So getting over our need to be right is really, and you go, oh yeah, the amount of times you'll experience it in interactions with people, you'll start to notice it. People protect their need to be proven right. Get over it. don't
Yeah.
need to be right, you
Yeah.
need to get the result. Okay? The second thing is to get over your ego. And that's more than just needing to be right. It's about saying, I am a worthwhile person, I feel good enough. If someone disagrees with you, it's not just about being right, it's about feeling like I'm good enough. And part of feeling like I'm good enough is kind of saying, no, it's not like that, it's like this. So we're always protecting our identity. And once you realise that that is part of what's going on, you can go, I don't need to hold on to that. I know I'm good enough already. I can let that person prove themselves right. I don't have to say, no, it's not like that, it's like this. I can just go, do you know what, that's a really interesting view. Tell me more. Oh, brilliant. And I'm warmth, kill it with kindness. It's amazing how that will transform your relationships and your ability to sell to people. Okay? So then there's some specific body language techniques you can do to accelerate rapport, as well as the stuff that we've talked about already. We talked about matching and mirroring. So when you're with somebody, notice everything about how they act. Notice their posture. Notice the speed they talk. Notice the way they breathe. Notice the way they hold their shoulders. Notice all that stuff. And for the first few minutes of the interaction, copy them. As odd as that sounds, just copy
Got
them.
a stalker here.
Yeah. Sit on my lap. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But match and mirror their body language. And if you're not in person, you're on the phone, but match the pace, the tone, match the kind of language pattern. So listen for words they use, repeat those words, and all of a sudden they'll be thinking, "Oh, this person's just like me. They're just like me." And rapport is founded before you even realise it. Okay. So body language is energy, all of that stuff, breathing, pace. I remember when I first learned about body language, and the first interactions with customers, I used to go, right, I'm going to copy the way they breathe. It used to, so I'd go in, and it's funny because they must have been thinking, he's looking at me strange, and I'd be kind of trying to notice the breath. I just match the breath. As soon as you get in breathing rhythm with something, it's amazing. It transforms the relationship like that.
Wow.
Breathing's so fundamental to one thing we take with us throughout our entire lives. Really interesting. So match and mirror. Think about distance and space. I don't know if you've ever had the situation where you talk to someone and they're like right here, and you think, shit, that's uncomfortable, right? You think that there are people who have different views and perspectives on that proximity into personal space. So some people be really close to you. I've had people that are the exact opposite. And I've got one client who I work with, and his natural personal space is a lot wider than most people's. So every single meeting I have to remind myself, because I'll go into meetings with him and we'll start standing, and I'm thinking, where's he going? And I kind of move with it. And I'm almost chasing him around the room. And I'm like, no, back off. And if I back off, it feels like we're probably at this distance is comfortable for him. If I get any closer, he moves. So I then move back. And guess what he does? He comes forward.
Yeah.
But I can't do it straight away. I get and then he's backing off, and then I go, just in, he's backing off, and I go, okay, now just relax. Carry on talking, I'll ask him a question, then I just go, and I'm very casually step, and I feel him come forward, and then I do it again, and I just mix it so that he then starts to follow me, and all of a sudden he feels much more comfortable because he is creating the space.
Yeah.
And so you get people that will be really close, you get some people that will back off, doesn't matter either way, but just respect and manage that space, distance and space. Okay? Just become aware of it.
I've done lots of work on personal and intimate spaces, and obviously everybody's is completely different,
Yes.
So it's
It
a
is,
personal
isn't it?
thing for everybody.
Yeah, but to try and tune into that in those first interactions, and most people won't even be aware of it themselves. It's for you, so your job is to kind of become aware and go, right, okay, if you see them backing off and you feel they're really close, for you sometimes you might have to manage yourself. Someone's really close and you're thinking, God, this is a bit, I'm close and personal, but just, remember it for what it is. It's just their distance and space, their own interpersonal space. Then there's a piece about eye contact. You all make very good eye contact, so you're okay, but you will also notice that some people struggle with it.
Yeah.
So your job here, remember, is to make someone feel comfortable. So if they struggle with eye contact, it's not personal, just respect it for what it is. And what you might want to do in those situations is not be too staring. think every one of you looked away there when I said that. Don't you stare at this one. Am I staring?
Too much.
Am I staring?
Are we the right distance?
But there is so there's a technique. There's an advanced body language technique called sticky eyes,
Sticky eyes.
right? And it only works with people who like eye contact, but use this sparingly, right? But it does work. Okay, so next time you have the opportunity to use this, use it. What sticky eyes is when you're looking at someone, and as you turn away, your head moves, but your eyes stay, and then you switch.
Right.
And then you turn away, and as you turn, and your eyes switch, and you look at someone, and it's a bit strange, but what unconsciously your mind says, they can't take their eyes off me, and that's a good thing,
Yeah.
right? Because you're like, God, they must find me, and it's not a perfect thing. It's I just reinforced that. 'Cause I only looked at the ladies. Hold on. Your turn. Like that. Just realised. You get back to the office. Hey, dirty bastard. But you can, if the moment's right, be careful with it. But it does accelerate rapport. It accelerates rapport because there's something goes on in people's minds that they always go, did anyone else see that? it's the strangest thing, but it works.
Suppose it stops the eye flitty thing going on, doesn't it? When you're flitting between sort of, say, him and her sat with you. It
Yes.
stops that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Be careful though.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
don't be
literally.
checking him out and doing
Flat.
Otherwise you're in deep trouble,
She'd be
yeah.
sitting there like, who is this?
Definitely. You're probably not moved for in somebody else's house.
That's it.
Not the office one.
Brilliant, love it. And then, so that's eye contact, so think about eye contact and just, these things will be obvious, but start to become conscious of them because you can then start to really use them as part of your relationships. And then the final one is the flooding smile. So that's another body language technique. What they say is, you know, sometimes when you meet someone and you're kind of prepped and you're geared and you go and you smile, okay? The flooding smile, so this is based in neuroscience. If I'm looking at you, and shortly after I look at you, in my head, it feels like, oh, it's Joe, then I smile, right? Your brain fires different chemicals than if you see me and I'm already smiling. Because then you believe you're the cause of my smile. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like someone comes in, rather than be smiling, when you see them go, oh, hi, and that it just changes the way they think about it. So smile, so don't greet them with a smile, wait until they're there, then smile. That makes sense? It's almost,
Yeah.
it's almost like a paused smile.
Yeah.
Only smile when you're...
So you smile when you're meeting them, so they know that you're smiling because of them.
Exactly. You're not, it's not the face you always wear.
Yes. Yeah, you're happy to see them.
Exactly, yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. So think about so the smile, the contact, the distance in the space, and then this matching and mirroring. That is so. This is so powerful. This matching and mirroring. Okay. The reason this works so much is because this is what we call the elements of personal communication. It was a study by this guy, Dr. Albert Morabian, early 1900s, and he did a series of research. I don't know how he mapped it, but he mapped it that this is how we process interactions with other people. 7% of what we take in and observe is the words that are spoken. 38% is the voice, the tone, the pace, the pitch, the way that they're delivered. And 55% is body language, what you actually see from somebody. So if you think about that as a mix, what you say is far less important than how you say it and the way your body kind of supports what you're saying. It's why unconsciously body language is so important in that rapport. Okay, do you want to have a little practice
Yeah.
of rapport? So you can decide who you work with. So just what you want to do, so you can practice this. It's going to feel a bit odd, but we're amongst friends, right?
Yeah.
Just for a couple of minutes, decide one or the other. We're going to do two exercises. We'll do this one, then we'll do another one. And so just decide who will talk, and then one of you just kind of talk about something you like. No matter what it is, it doesn't have to be work related. It could be work related. It doesn't have to be. And all you're going to do is talk about something you like for a couple of minutes. The other person, your job is to listen, ask questions, acknowledge, and maybe a bit summarising if it feels right. If it doesn't, it's about acknowledging, questioning, listening, being interested, developing rapport, and focus on what they're saying. Make sure that you're smiling, you're engaging. Make sure you notice what happens with their body language and consciously match and mirror it. You probably would do this anyway, but make a real effort, right? Notice the movement of the hands, head position, nods, copy all of that stuff. Posture, breathing, body position, lean in, just warmth, think warmth, warmth, warmth. Right? Off you go.
Oh my god.
Only for a couple of minutes, you'll enjoy it. I won't record this bit because I don't want to